Best coaches in the game, we really ain't playing. We regroup up in the Slack chat where the coaches debrief. We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block, helmets, casket, and top. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision, we got too many. Get your check. Oh man, shit. They got us fucked up. Army, recruit. We pledge always to have that edge. We don't fire warning shots. Competition just dropped. We locked and loaded before lock. Whatever the time, yeah. Do you even correlate?
Being the best requires a willingness to outwork your competition. There's always someone smarter, faster, sharper, more naturally gifted to come around.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Josh Thomas, aka DFS Up North from DFS Army, and it is Masters Week, baby. This is what we wait all year for. I love it. I love everything about it. It's the best week of the year, and we get to have the Masters Week twice, right? In less than a calendar year, which is awesome. So I am super excited for this week. Recap to last week. Obviously, Jordan Spieth breaks through after 1,300 and some days, gets his first win in that long. Excited about it. I think that golf really needs Jordan Spieth right now to be good with Tiger out. They need that draw for the average fan that's not there. Guys like you and me, we're going to watch the Corrales Punta Cana with, Joel Damon winning over Rafael Campos. Doesn't matter. But for the greater good of the game, I think that we really do need a guy like Jordan Spieth who's likable, plays well. But does that mean that we have to play him this week in DFS? We're going to get to that. There is a lot of questions this week. We really do. We have so many questions this week with the Masters. And if you guys are familiar with this podcast in the past, or typically, what I do is I give you guys 4 quick thoughts about how I think that you need to build a GPPs this week. This week, we're going to, it's a major, we're going to go a little bit different. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through, I'm going to break down each of the salary ranges. So 10K, 9K, 8K, 7K, and 6K. Talk a little bit through some of the decision points that we're going to have to make in each strategy or in each salary range. And then I'm going to give you a quick look behind the scenes to what our VIPs at DFS Army are going to get access to this week in terms of our research station, all the data right there for them to make their own decisions. Because really, while we do have the cheat sheets and I'll be talking about that where I kind of go through and talk about pretty much everybody player in the range. What we really want to do at DFS Army is empower you to make the right decisions on your own. I was just in Slack chat. We were having a conversation about, hey, Ram or JT. I kind of want to play a lot of Jason Day this week, but it scares me, right? Those are the conversations that we are having behind the scenes. For those of you who aren't VIPs, that we're bouncing ideas off each other. I don't have all the right answers. I can say that without a doubt, I've been at DFS Army for almost 3 years now, that I'm a much better player today than I am in the past, and not just because of the coaches and Geek and those guys, but because of the membership, right? They make me better every single week. They make me think differently outside the box, and it's been profitable for me. So if you are not the DFS Army VIP, what are you waiting for? Again, this was 2 weeks ago at the WGC match play. Brett crushed $135,000. Like, this happens every single week. Saw guys, smashing a couple $1,000s. Nobody last week seemed to find that big win, but it was a profitable week for pretty much. I didn't see a lot of people upset about not having a great week, other than myself, who in Showdown, it was the weird. Not even going to get into it, but I cashed my main Showdown lineup in 4th round yesterday in GPP and lost the exact same lineup in a double up, which I feel like rarely happens. So my cash just missed and my GPP hit the exact same lineup. That is like the exact opposite of whatever usually happens. But there we are. So let's get down and dirty into business. I wrote this. I created this slide earlier last week, and my tagline, instead of which stud to play, was, are we on Ram baby watch? But John Ram has his wife had their first child last week. So he is, I haven't got confirmation that he's on the course yet, but we're assuming that he is there this week, and he's going to be running that baby swag, right? Hopefully, right? We've seen guys come out after babies and do well. It's more of a ridiculous narrative than anything, but beyond that, I really do love John Ram this week. I was hopeful that we were going to get him under owned because people were going to be scared that he was going to have to leave to have his baby. So I was playing Ram this week no matter what. Now, a little bit more of a decision for me. Again, I was just talking about this earlier that, I've got ideas of what I want to do with my lineups this week, right? Like it's Monday. I'm making lineups. I have ideas of what I want them to look like, but really, I need to see more of the sentiment as the week goes on. If we get to Monday, Wednesday, and we're looking at John Ram at 28%, like I got to readjust, right? I'm going to be underweight on that. But he's the stud here. I think that it's sneakily the guy who's going to be maybe the lowest owned in this range might be DJ. Coming off a win, his game's in mediocre shape. Can we play DJ at 11.5? The salary this week, it's a soft pricing because of the majors. I think he's viable. I like it, right? I think that Bryson's going to be way under owned, which again leads me to think that Ram is going to be in that 28% range. I'm not going to be able to play him. But I like Bryson. He hasn't really ever figured out this course. But man, his game's in great shape this right now. JT's game's in great shape. Obviously coming off a win at the Players. Didn't play great at the match play, but that's never an event that he's really done well at before either. So Rory, he needs it, right? Like his game was in great shape, and now he's been kind of trying to deal with some swing changes. Xander's been very, very mediocre. I don't want to pay $10,000 for Xander, but again, like these guys are up here for a reason. They're top 7-8 golfers in the world. If we can get a Xander at if he's going to come in super 8-9, I have no problem in it when we build 150 lineups. I don't have a problem getting, 18% Xander, right? If I'm going to double the field at 18%, I'll jump over that all day. I don't care what kind of form the guy's in or not, right? So those are sort of the decisions that you got to make up here. I'm not saying if I'm playing a single entry, it's likely going to be Ram or JT. I might jump to DJ or Bryson, but those are going to be my guys up here. 9 to 9K. So this is the big question, right? Is do we fade Spieth? So right now, Jordan Spieth is the odds-on favorite to win the Masters, which is insane to me. But you look at his history; he's been here with his B game before and played really well. So the question again comes to, can you fade Spieth? Because right now in my head, I'm looking at that odds projection and his price tag, and I don't see any way that he's under 30% owned. Like in the $10 Millie Maker on DraftKings, I just don't see that he's going to be under 30% owned. Maybe people like me are going to think the same way. And if he is under 28% owned, I will eat my hat on this next podcast. That is insane, right? I'm not actually going to do that. Some people really follow through on shit like that. I'm not going to do that. But I think you can fade Spieth because I think there's some really, really good plays that you can get leverage on around him. And at 9,400, I'm just going to play Spieth in my cash lineup, right? I don't have to think twice about it. If he does well, great. If he doesn't, he's 50% owned in cash. Doesn't matter, right? I love Patrick Reed here. I think that he's going to come in way under owned. I love Colin Morikawa, right? Guy is just built for a course like this. I love Cantlay. His game has kind of taken a dive since we've gotten off the West Coast, but I love him here. So really in this range, I'm going to be over Reed, Morikawa, and Cantlay, and then I'm forcing as much Webb Simpson into my lineups as possible. Coming off a miscut at the Masters, we're going to see him way under owned here, especially because all of that ownership is going to get sucked up on Reed, and I am going to be jumping all over Webb. I think he's cash viable. I love him in GPP. Kepka, right? We can take a stab at. I love the attitude. I think he's going to be over-owned based on what his actual capabilities are here this week with his knees, with his knee issue, but he's fine. Finau game is in the gutter. His tee to green game is in terrible shape right now. Coming off a miscut, really played poorly at the match play. So for me, not going to be in on my boy Tony F. All right, 8 to 8.9K. This is where Millie Makers are really won, right? You get there'll be a few guys that are in that 6K range that make a run, right? But if you can find two guys in here that are going to finish in the top 10, you are in a great shape in your lineup construction. And with the soft salaries, what everybody does is they jump on these stars and scrubs. And I just love to go the opposite of that in these majors. These balance builds are where it's at. Hatton, games and trash, never figured out Augusta. He's going to be super alone. That's really the only reason to play. I'm blown away by this Westwood price. It makes sense where his odds are to be priced here, but it's weird to me to see him at 8,800, almost at 9K in a major. He's had great success here. I like Westwood. I think he's got a good game. He's going to have his kid on the bag, which is, if I have my kid on the bag, I'll be losing my mind out there. So we'll see. But I think Westwood's fine. Hovland, great player. But the issue with Hovland is There is rain in the forecast, so it could soften up a bit. But if we watch the Augusta Women's National this weekend, the course is firm. Westwood in his quote said that in his pregame quote or pre-tournament quotes this week, talked about how this is the firmest he's ever seen it. He's been playing here for 25 years, right? And when it's firm, you're not going to hit these greens. These greens aren't going to hold balls. So you got to be good getting up and down, right? And a guy like Hovland, he's so, like, my 4-year-old is better around the greens than he is. He is so bad around the greens. So I think that's going to be an issue this week. And I think he's always over-owned, right? People love playing Victor Hovland. So for me, I'm not going to play Hovland, but I am going to play a ton of Sungjae. Second here in his debut last year. Never really threatened DJ, but I love Sungjae. All right. I think that he's cash viable at 8,600. I think that he is GPP viable. Love the tee to green game. I love how well he putts it. He can really roll the rock, and his short game's great. Another guy that I really love in this range is Daniel Berger, right? He should be playing with a little chip on his shoulder. Felt like he should have gotten into this event last fall. Augusta stood their ground, said, nope, we're not letting you in. You weren't in April. Doesn't matter what you did all summer. So I really, really like Daniel Berger. I think he's got a great game for this course. He's finished top 20 here before. I think he makes a lot of sense. Scheffler's fine. Not going out of my way to get him, but Hideki Matsuyama is a guy that, I mean, we talk about it. This course is going to play firm. We're going to rely on around the green. Matsuyama is arguably the best around the green player in the world, bar none, right? Maybe Jason Day. Okay, but Decky is so good around these greens. I guess you can give Spieth in there too, right? But he's a little bit more of the magic beans than anything. Decky's tee to green games was solid at the Valero. He's got great history here. So in this range, I'm really looking at Decky, Berger, Sungjae. Those are going to be my horses here. Those are going to be the guys that I'm going to be 20-25% on. Smith, I just never get him right. I feel like he doesn't make a lot of sense, but he's got 2 top 5 finishes here in the last 4 years. So Fitzy, if this course plays tough, I'm in on Fitz. And I feel like Fleetwood is starting to make his way back. At 8,000, he's still not priced to where you have to play him, right? If he was like 74, 73, he'd be one of the higher owned guys this week, I think. But at 8K, he's kind of right in that middle range there. So for me, I'm going to have a little bit of both of those guys. But again, that is the most important salary range. And then I think that the area of leverage is going to be right in here in this, especially in this upper 7K. Let me just double check here. Yeah, the 7K range, you look at it off the top and you're like, it's not great. So I really think what people are going to do is when they're building these stars and scrubs, we're going to see this 7K, like, there'll be guys like Casey, who I think will be highly owned. He's a great play. He's a core play for me this week there. I gave you guys a freebie, right? Love Casey. But I think that people are going to, maybe jump over this rate. I think that Neiman and Answer will get popular. But for the most part, like, there's going to be 8, 9, 10 guys in here that you can just smash the field and ownership on. So, lots of leverage, right? Love Sergio. I think he makes a ton of sense here. He's just a tee to green monster. I love Adam Scott. I think that Adam Scott's game is coming around, getting in the right shape. Louis at Augusta is an auto play. Jason Day, like I said, I'm scared to death to play him. But he has positive regression coming with his putter. He's putting way under his baseline right now. And hopefully this return to Augusta will really, really help him. So I love Jason Day here. Neiman and Answer are fine. I'm not going to play any English. I love Zalatoris. He's got a perfect tee to green game for this course. The concern, again, is that this is his first time. Debutants, unless your name's Sungjae Im, really don't do well here. All right, so I'm in there. I think Wolf's game's coming back. And if we can get like the Wolf of last year, right? The U.S. Open Wolf, right? Where he's a tee to green monster. He putts just a little bit. Like, we're getting Wolf at 7,100. And like I said, if you watch the match play, his game is starting to come back. He's been dealing with an injury, right? So if he's a little healthier here, I think that Wolf could be the GPP winning play this week. I really do. I really think that Wolf has a chance. Now, saying that, he can come out here and shoot 80-80. That's completely within the realm of possibility. So I really like Matthew Wolf. I think Molinari returning to the scene of the crime is a good play. I think people will be on Perez. He should be. He's a stud. I played him here last year, but and finished 43rd or 45th. But I think just because of his performance in the match play, he's going to be a little bit overowned here. And again, now we're looking at upside, right? 6K to 6.9K. You were just looking for guys that you think can contend, right? Guys, what I like to do here is the guys who get really chalky, I just play them in my cash lineup. The guys who are not chalky, I'll play in GPP. So guys like Corey Connors, right? He's just locked into my cash lineup right now at 6.9K because he's going to be crazy high owned, right? If he does well, great. If he does not, doesn't matter because he's going to be 50% owned in cash. I don't have any problem being, if it's a 100-man cash lineup and top 45 get paid out, I have no problem being 44th. I mean, that gets paid the same as first, right? So Connor's, but a guy I love is right below him, and Jason Kokrak. I think Kokrak makes a ton of sense here. He missed the cut last year in his debut, so he's seen the course now coming out. He's got such a good game. A string of top 10s. Like, the guy's playing well. 6,900 lock and load. Leash, no interest. Harmon, great putter. Has had some success here. I find, like, I faded Kuchar last week. Didn't play him. I thought, maybe the match play was just a little bit of an anomaly. But now we saw Kuchar at the Valero just continue to play really, really well. So he's on a little bit of a heater now, coming to Augusta, where he's played great over the course of his career. I think he makes a lot of sense at 6,800. Poltz, Woodland seems to be back a little bit, right? But he's never really figured out Augusta. Bez, I love. Guy's got great around the green game, great putting, so really he can contend anywhere, right? And if his iron heats up, he's going to be in contention. I think Kiz, with the course playing firm, I think Augusta suits him, right? I think that he can find a way to really hit driver off the tee and get it down there now if the course plays a little bit firmer and harder. And again, with how well he putts, doesn't matter. Fratelli last year was a one and done. I think that he just kind of popped at the right time. But Siwoo Kim, 3 straight made cuts here, playing good golf. Don't sleep on Siwoo. He's going to be under 5% owned. Easy guy to get leverage on in GPP. Munoz, I think, makes sense. I'm going to play some Mickelson, right? I think that Mickelson's game's in good shape right now. I'm definitely going to go there. Champ, Willett, no. Ortiz, I love. I think that he is I'm just done doubting him. The guy just shows up every week, and statistically doesn't make a ton of sense, but the guy just, he can play, right? Palmer, I love. Another really cheap price at 6,500. He's one of the most underrated golfers on the PGA Tour, I think, regularly. Bobby Mack, we saw him beat DJ in match play, right? Now, match play doesn't obviously correlate to here, but Bobby Mack's a talented player. A lefty. Lefties have had success. They've had sex at Augusta. They've had success at Augusta, right? We've seen Phil really do well here. So I think the course does set up to a lefty. No Wallace, I think, should be very, very popular. He obviously played unreal last week. Tee to green, his game's never in better shape. Love the price tag at 6,400. And then don't sleep on CT Pan. I think he's interesting as well. Oh man, we got another one. Zach Johnson. Love Zach Johnson. Short, I think that helps. Love Lanto. I love Matt Jones. Matt Jones can play. Obviously coming off a win, definitely can roll here. Mackenzie Hughes obviously could get hot with the putter. Brian Gay, no. Tyson Fresh, no. Brendan Todd, not really. Like, this bottom end is not something I'm really interested in. I'm not going to go much longer. I think you can play some of these old guys, and I am including Henrik Stenson in the old guy category, man. What's going on? I wish he could figure it out. But he's just been terrible. Maybe I love Langer. I think that obviously 2 top 10s on the senior tour this year in the 2 events they played. Made a run here 2 years ago. The guy can get it around, and if the course is playing firm and hard, that only benefits him. A guy maybe not to sleep on though here is Stuart Sink. I think that Sinky's still got some game. So again, I went a little long this week, probably about twice as long as we did, but I don't want to go too long. I don't have time to listen to an hour podcast. Hopefully you guys don't have time either, or likely you don't have time either. So I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes. If you want access to all of our content, so our research station, which I was going to show, all right, we'll show that here in a second. $9.99 per week, $29.99 a month, $300 a year. But really what you want to do is you want to get on that DFS Army VIP monthly, $69.99. You get that 10% off for life if you use the code Up North. That gets you all the sports. That gets you baseball. That gets you golf. That gets you basketball. That gets you NFL, everything, right? So get involved. Use that code Up North. But here's what you get, all right? So let's take a look at what people get if they are members of the DFS Army family. Let me bring it up here. Share this. Oh, that's my presenter window. All right, so this is our early look at the Masters research station, all right? So as you can see, right, go to Masters early. Here we go. All right, so you can see we got all the salaries in there. We got how many shot link rounds we have for data on them. We got their live odds. We got how much they've drifted, right? Have they gone from, people are betting them at, Xander's drifted 21% or 4% because he's gone from 20 to 21, whereas Spieth has drifted 10% because he's gone from 12 to 10. That is an indicator of where the sentiment is, right? We got their adjusted implied, and we'll have ownership projections in there. We have our projections, value, course history, recent form, all the fantasy scoring stats, right? You want You want to sort by projected fantasy points per round? Here we go, right? We can see that JT is number 1 in projected fantasy points per round at courses like this that takes into account hole type, things like that, right? Made cut percentage, driving distance, driving accuracy, birdies are better, fantasy points gained, double bogey or worse percentage, our field rank. So what percentage of the field they beat in majors or WGCs typically, right? So who's at the top here? Brooks Koepka, weird, surprise, surprise, right? How often they finish in the top 50, top 25, top 10%. We got strokes gained, off the tee, approach, around the green. All of this is sortable, and this is just a little bit of the research station. This is just the main page, right? There's 18 tabs at the bottom here, whatever there is. There's just tons of information. It's almost information overload, right? But that's why we have coaches. That's why you can ask us questions in Slack. That's why you should become a DFS Army VIP. Again, use that code 10% off for a VIP membership to DFS Army. If you get in, hit me up in Slack at DFS Up North. I can help you out. Hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions. You're not a DFS Army VIP. Good luck this week, boys. I am looking forward to some green schemes. I hope somebody wins a crypto punk, right? That's awesome. I love that on DraftKings from Matt. So have a great week, guys, and good luck.